After Egypt and Greece, the next of the three great ancient civilizations was that of Rome. The civilization of ancient Rome started around the city of Rome in Italy, but it spread to cover an enormous area. The Roman Empire was one of the largest empires of all time, from Britain in the north to Africa in the south, and from Portugal in the west to Iraq in the east. Evidence shows that ancient Rome started around 700 BC. From a small city, it expanded, slowly conquering all of its neighbours, first in Italy and then over the whole Mediterranean and beyond. In these early years, Rome was not the most powerful country in the Mediterranean. That was another place called Carthage. At that time, Carthage dominated the Mediterranean Sea. It had control of all the ports and trade. With Rome trying to expand, there was inevitably going to be conflict. After more than 100 years of war, Rome defeated Carthage and burnt the city to the ground. With Carthage beaten, Rome was free to conquer the whole of the Mediterranean. Rome started as a monarchy with a number of kings. While the first few kings were good and liked by the people, the seventh king was a tyrant. There was an uprising, and the king was overthrown by the people. After this, Rome became a republic and was run by ordinary, normal people. In the early years of the republic, the system that Rome used was to have two leaders at the same time. This was meant to stop any one person having too much power. However, this system only lasted so long. In about 50 BC, the famous army commander Caesar took control. He marched his army into the city of Rome and became the dictator. A few years later, Caesar was assassinated, but by then it was too late. The Republic was over. From Caesar on, Rome would always be ruled by one man, an emperor. This period, the period of the Roman emperors, would be the height of Roman power and glory. The empire was larger than ever, and Roman art, architecture, and culture reached its high point. Roman culture was strongly influenced by ancient Greece. Rome learned from Greek literature, art, and religion. For example, the old Greek gods became the new Roman gods, just with a different name. But although Rome would learn from Greece, Rome would take many things to a much higher level. Rome is famous for its architecture and buildings. It had large temples, gyms, markets, roads, and public baths. Ancient Rome also played a large part in the development of drinking wine. Growing and drinking wine was popular throughout Roman society, and it spread to all corners of the empire. We still make wine today in much the same way as they did in Roman times. Roman cities also provided their citizens with many forms of entertainment. People could go to the theatre, watch horse racing, and also watch the fights of gladiators. Gladiators were people who fought to the death, either fighting each other or fighting animals like lions. With the Greeks, ancient Rome was the foundation of Western civilization. Western politics, law, literature, architecture, and so on all have their origins in the classical world. One of the major things we get from ancient Rome is the language. Most of the Western European languages, such as French, Spanish, and Italian, have evolved from the language of ancient Rome, Latin. English too has been strongly influenced by Latin. Even the alphabet we use today was the alphabet of Rome. The letters of the words you're reading right now are the same ones used by the Romans. Our calendar too comes from Rome. Even the names of the months. July comes from Julius Caesar. August comes from the Emperor Augustus. The Roman Empire finally fell for a variety of reasons. The success of the Roman Empire was actually one of the main reasons for its fall. For one, the empire simply became too large to control. There was corruption, and the government could not raise enough money in taxes to run the empire. Rome also lost its fighting spirit because peace had lasted so long. Some people say the rise of Christianity helped this because it made the Romans peace-loving and weak. Whatever the reason, other people called barbarians started attacking Rome. From about 400 to 500 AD, a series of attacks and invasions finally ended the Roman Empire.